On New Year's Day, 1945, First Lieutenant Alden Rigby sat in the cockpit of his P-51D Mustang, named after his wife and baby daughter. With one German kill already to his credit, Rigby was about to become an ace. When the early morning fog and haze cleared from the Belgian skies, at least 50 German fighters appeared in the skies overhead. The battle was on. Growing up on a farm in Fairview, Utah, Rigby knew that the key to success was getting an education. At Brigham Young University, Rigby excelled at both academics and sports. When he was drafted into the Army, he seized the first opportunity to become a pilot.
He was married to my mom at that time. He was 19, she was 18. And at Fort Douglas in Salt Lake City, he appeared for induction, and he was in a group of about 40 individuals, and a captain stepped into the room and asked for volunteers for either Air Corps or paratroopers. And two stepped forward. Dad wanted the Air Corps, the other guy wanted paratroops. Dad said that always puzzled him, why someone would want to jump out of a perfectly good airplane.
Rigby's first aerial victory came after an escort mission in November of 1944. Lieutenant Rigby and his men were returning to base after escorting a squadron of U.S. bombers. Along the way, he strafed a German train.
After escorting the bombers, they decided to fly low back to their base, and were shooting up trains. As he came up off this train, German 109 went right in front of him, and he pulled in behind it and fired. It tried to escape into a cloud. He followed it through, and he's not sure he even hit it. But the pilot jumped out, and Dad circled him in his parachute. He says as he circled him, the guy waved at him or shook his fist at him. He's quite sure he waved.
On January 1st, 1945, First Lieutenant Rigby awakened early at Y29, a small airbase near Asch, Belgium. The commanding officer of the 487th Fighter Wing gave Rigby the task of selecting 11 other pilots to join him on a patrol mission over the front lines. Little did he know that he would be flying into an historic battle.
They got their engines warmed up, the cockpits warmed, the ice off the wings and the windshield, and waited for the mist at the end of the runway to lift. As they were waiting, a group of P-47s took off, and as they got 2 or 3 miles out from the field, they dropped their bombs and got into a fight. This was visible to the P-51s on the ground, and Colonel Meyer just said, "Let's go." And as he lifted off, he's following, his flight lead was Lieutenant Littke. A German slipped in behind Littke, and Dad told Littke to break off, and Littke did turn, and the German turned to follow him, but that put him right in my dad's sights. He fired from a range of about 150 yards, I think, got hits all over the German, and they weren't 500 feet up yet, and the German went in. He did use up a lot of ammunition getting the second one on 190, and it crashed into the trees eventually. And he pulls up, there's still fights going on all over, and he saw an American P-47 that was in trouble. There were some mine-tailing heaps out there, big slag heaps, and they were turning around these slag heaps, using them for cover. And he knew that the P-47 could not turn at that low altitude with a 109. And so he's afraid the 109s could get the advantage. He pulls in between, even without a gun sight, again close enough that he guessed correctly and hit the 109 with a burst, and it went down. He didn't know how much ammunition he had, because it had to be just a few rounds now. And there was another fight. These 2 Mustangs were chasing a 109 and couldn't catch him. So Dad pulled into the fight. They turned him, the 109, in front of Dad, and he let go with his last, he says, handful of bullets, and they went right through the wing and cockpit of the 109, and it went down immediately. So there was 4, he estimates total combat time between 20 and 35 minutes.
The one-sided battle came to be known as the Legend of Y29. In no other battle did one unit perform so well from such a disadvantage. For their courage and bravery in the face of overwhelming odds, the 487th Squadron earned the only distinguished unit citation given to a fighter squadron in the 8th Air Force during World War II. In addition, Lieutenant Rigby was awarded the Silver Star for his bravery, the third highest service medal that could be awarded. After the war, Alden Rigby went on to a career in aviation spanning over 30 years. He served in the U.S. Navy during the Korean War, then flew with the Utah Air National Guard and worked as an air traffic controller and supervisor in Salt Lake City until his retirement in the 1970s. But for one brief, terrifying day in 1945, it felt like he was taking on the entire German Air Force.